Welcome to our service of worship this morning. We gather together from many different places. We're together online, in person, and in print. And we come as we are, to gather in this space, to hear the ancient story, and to open ourselves to the movement of spirit. May it be so.
I just have one announcement, friends. Good morning. And that is the usual statement that as we sing together, you're encouraged to sing softly, wear a mask that makes sure it's covering both your nose and your mouth and chin, please. Actually, I will also take a moment and say that on this morning, for the past 15 years, I have said thank you to the members of the choirs and the congregation for a candlelight concert that would have happened last night. Fear not, there is a candlelight concert forthcoming. It will be online within the next couple of weeks. The handbells and the church choir have been working very hard and have a wonderful program to offer you. It'll just be a little bit later than usual. Practice your waiting time during that event.
Also a reminder that Christmas Eve, our services are 6, 8, and 10. And you are, if you plan to come, you can register for one of those services. Make sure you register before December the 18th, because seating will need to be assigned for each of those services. There will also be a service on Christmas morning at 10 a.m. And if you plan to come to that, would also appreciate registering for it as well. There will be an online Christmas Eve service, which will be available online by noon on Christmas Eve. And there will be an online children's Christmas Eve service, and that will be online by noon on Christmas Eve as well. That children's service will be brought to you by our youth group, who are gathering tonight, actually, to film for that Christmas Eve service. We're also preparing for the Christmas Index program. The food requests went out via email, and I think a majority of those have already come in. We have gift tags that were available last Sunday. There are still some left, and they are available, and you'll be able to see them as you go out through this exit this morning. So if you haven't and you're able to take one of those, and if you don't feel comfortable shopping but would like to make a financial donation towards those gifts, that would also be greatly appreciated. I think that's it, maybe? Anything else? Then let us sing together. last week? Last week we began our Advent journey, and we talked about hope, that expectation that something is going to happen, a place that gives us strength as we journey together. Today we light the candle of peace. And in this light, as it flickers, we are reminded that the ancestors proclaimed a vision, and Jesus had a dream. It was a vision and a dream of peace, where all would be together as one. This light reminds us that that dream and vision is not yet realized. But as we hope and as we journey, we live into it and wait until that time when the lamb and the lion will lie down together and there will be peace. And there have been many on our journey who have spoken to us the words of hope, who've shared with us the vision of peace, who have worked diligently to make it real in this time and in this place. And so we remember those who have been a light for us on our journey. Frank Emmanuel. Jerry Hilchey. Dorothy Hollett and Bill Brady. Mary Taylor and Charles Hill. Lloyd Hill. Carrie Hill. Gordon Benjamin. Robert Crooks. Elmer Patton. Doug and Phyllis Embry. Winston Embry. Voices and visions and stories, lights along the way. Let us hear these words recorded in the book of the prophet Isaiah. A voice cries out in the wilderness, "Prepare you the way. Make straight in the desert a highway for the sacred and holy. Every valley shall be lifted up, and every mountain will be made low. Uneven ground will become level, and rough places plain. Then the glory of holy mystery will be revealed, and all the people together shall see it." A voice says, "Cry out." And I ask, what shall I cry? All people are grass. Their constancy is like the flower of the field. The grass withers and the flower fades. When creative energy blows upon it, surely people are like grass. The grass withers and the flower fades, but love will stand forever. So get you up on a high mountain and lift your voice with strength. Lift it up and do not fear. And say to all, "Here is the one who comes in divine love. He will feed the flock like a shepherd. He will gather the lambs in his arms and carry them in his bosom and gently lead the mother sheep."
We might have had a technical malfunction. Oh, no, I fixed it. The technical malfunction was me.
Let us unite our hearts in prayer. We come into this space. We open ourselves to Spirit as it moves in and through and among us. May we have eyes to see, ears to hear, and hands to reach out in service. Now may the words of my mouth and the meditations of all our hearts be acceptable this day. Amen. And a voice says, "Cry out." And I ask, what shall I cry? Isaiah speaks to us across time and space and shares with us a vision, giving to us something for which we should work. Whoop. I might need some lessons in English here this morning. As we listen to that, we see this vision of what the world could and should be. And in that prophecy, we are also given a glimpse of the one who would come, or the two who would come. The first is the vision of, or the prophecy of, the voice that would cry in the wilderness, "Prepare the way." And we believe that John the Baptist was a fulfillment of that prophecy. John, who was Jesus' cousin and who began teaching and preaching and calling people to turn around, to begin again a new way of life, and to make ready that space so that Jesus could enter into it and begin his ministry. The latter part of Isaiah's vision is of the one who would come and lead the flock, bringing together the lambs and gently leading the mother sheep. And we believe that that prophecy was fulfilled in Jesus. Today we hear that story as it speaks out across time and space to us. And we ponder together, what is it that we need to hear here and now, as we reflect on these words and on the realities of the fulfillment of the prophecies as we have come to understand them. Well, I think there's a number of things for us in this passage. I think first is that we are called to be John. We are called to be the ones who prepare the way for the birth of Jesus, the light and life of the world, again, in this time and in this place, in the midst of our own realities. But we are also called to be Jesus. For we are the hands and feet and voice of Jesus in this time and place. And so we are the ones who must live into that dream, that vision, and make it become reality. In this Advent season, we talk about a time of waiting, of anticipation, of preparation. And we make ready again for the birth of love and light that comes on Christmas Eve. We must prepare in a number of ways. And I think first and foremost, we must prepare ourselves. We then also must prepare and tend and till the ground for others, so that they too may see the light and the life. And as we prepare, we are also making ready for the time when we become the hands and feet of Jesus in our everyday. Have any of you ever watched a road being built? If you've driven anywhere in Nova Scotia in the last number of years, your answer to that is yes. I know that one of the things that I've found fascinating in recent years is, in the last year in particular, is the drive between here and Cape Breton and watching the road being built between New Glasgow and Antigonish, actually. And you can see as the trees are being felled and the rocks are being blown up. And I've often wondered how that can be, how you even figure that out. Like, how is it even possible? But as you watch it, you see the trees coming down, and you see the rocks being removed, and little by little, you see this road taking shape. And as I look at that and think about it, I can't help but think about those words from Isaiah about how a road is being prepared in the desert, and valleys are being lifted up, and mountains are being brought low. It takes a lot of hard work and preparation to make that happen. And a lot of people are involved in building that road, and each one depends upon the other. And when it's finished, wow, there is this transformation. And you see something that enables people to make it from one place to the other safely and smoothly. It is wonderful, and it is awe-filled. I think there's a lesson in that for us. We need to think about, how do we take part in that preparation? What do we need to do to prepare? What things in us, what are those hard places that need to be blown apart within us so that we can receive the light? Where are those trees that need to be moved, that block our view and our vision? What holes need to be filled so that we can be part of this creation? And those are questions that only you can answer. But they are yours to answer in this time and place, in this Advent preparation. What do you need to do in your life so that your spirit, your soul, your being is open and ready to receive the light of the world? And then simultaneously, I think we need to think about what we need to do to prepare that way for others. What are the things that we need to make sure
are happening in the way that we live our lives, in the gospel that we preach, that helps to level the field so that others can also see the light. Some of that, I think, comes in us listening to the voices and visions among us. In our Minute for Mission for this week, there is, it's a story about a student organization, and what they do and what they believe the church is called to do. And I think the words of one of those students are ones that we need to hear to help us prepare the way. At a gathering of the World Student Christian Federation in the African region, one of the members shared these words. As young people, we ask the churches not to spread hate speech or judgment, but preach love, peace, and acceptance for all people as God's creation. We ask our churches to take part in interfaith dialogue, to start building relationships with other faiths, so that we may come to understand their beliefs and accept them as brothers and sisters. We ask our churches to acknowledge that we cannot master the truth. We can only approach the truth. Only God holds the truth. As the present youth, we are the church of the future. Because of this, it is important for churches to communicate with us, to ensure that our opinions are heard. It is part of the role of the church to promote human dignity and serve the common good. When I read those words, I heard what some of our youth are asking us to do, to be part of the preparation, to live into the vision of peace and harmony in our world. We must prepare the way. May it be so. let us enter together into a time of prayer. In this space, we call on Spirit to tend our spirits as we ponder how we prepare the way. What valleys in us need to be lifted up? What mountains must be made low? We pray for guidance, and may we see the hope that gives us strength in our journey. May we know the vision of peace and live into Jesus' own dream. May we be hands for healing. May we be voices for justice. May we be hands to hold. Companions on a journey. Gather all of our prayers together in the words that Jesus gave his disciples so very long ago. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, power, and the glory, forever and ever. Just a couple of reminders as we prepare to leave, and that is that we all leave by this exit here. Those that are going to be cleaning to gather and start that as we prepare for another week together. And now, as we prepare to leave this place, may we have the eyes of the wise ones and be open to seeing the signs in our midst. And may we have the courage to follow. May we have the ears of the shepherds and hear the message proclaimed in our midst, and have the courage to follow. May we have the voices of the angels and be prepared to sing of justice, of love, of peace, and have the courage to sing it loud and sing it bold. May it be so.